Wow.
Kathy with a C, Conrad with a K.
Congratulations to the two of you. Why did it take 7 or 8 years? How long it took to get this going?
Well,
10.
It took 10 years because we didn't have the right director on board. That's why. And John and June blessed us with, I don't know. Kathy, why don't you answer that? I'm so excited right now. I'm having a hard time speaking. So.
Well, I mean, it basically, development sometimes can take a long time. And by the time we had a script that we thought was right, unfortunately, the tide in Hollywood was such that no one was interested in making the picture. So we sort of took a year off, and Jim directed another movie, and then we kind of got back into it again and decided to go a little bit more of the independent route and attach actors to it and go out to the town with actors attached and a budget of $25 million and say, look at us, it's cheap, it's good, look at these people, Reese, Joaquin, T-Bone, come on. And everyone still said no. And so finally, Elizabeth Gabler, God love her, said yes. And it was sort of perfect timing when that happened. It just took a long time.
And when we first started out, people didn't want to make biopics. And tonight I found it so fascinating that there was Good Night and Good Luck, and there was.
I mean, there's so many biopics.
Walk the Line and Ray, and so it became the thing to do, I guess, after Ray. So.
What about Reese and Joaquin? I mean, besides their star power, convinced you that they could pull this off? You both knew, especially as this dream of yours, that this was a giant leap.
Well, essentially, I mean, the casting, there's a certain freedom that you get when there's no studio telling you what to do. And so you just kind of go with your gut. And there was a particular picture of Joaquin that I had seen in the LA Times. He had been doing press for Gladiator that, after having met and spent time with John, was very powerful to Jim and I. And, I mean, it sounds crazy to just say that was the only person we talked to. I mean, we literally called him up, we sent him the script, and it's one of those kind of unbelievable moments where we sent it to him on a Friday, he called us on a Monday, he said, what do I got to do to be in this movie? And Jim said, buy a guitar. And then 5 months later, we went to Reese and, talked to her about it, and she said yes. And it was, I think the material just spoke to people, and it created its own urgency, and it was a great chemistry. It was a great mix.
There was one other element to that, I think, and that was that when these two names were mentioned to John and June, both of them were home runs. They were just total home runs, yes, absolutely. John, in fact, had met Joaquin at a dinner party and started quoting things from.
But years before, he didn't.
Years before,
yeah.
but he was such a huge fan.
Yeah.
And June adored Reese. So.
Is it a misconception that Joaquin does not like to do press? Because just earlier he was entertaining us completely back here.
No, Walk is great. He's doing great press. He's out there for the movie, and I haven't experienced that.
Why do you think that reputation exists?
Maybe you'll ask him. Has he been up here?
Yeah, I was just asking.
And what did he say?
Did he? I honestly think. I think he's a very shy person, and I think that. I think Joaquin. This is my personal opinion. I think Joaquin is a very humble and shy person, and some people have a difficult time talking about themselves. If you ask him to talk about other things, I think he would be very willing to. But I think this is one of the most humble people you'd ever want to meet, and one of the sweetest guys. So any attitude that the press has about him is way off, because this guy is an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Can you describe his transformation into the part?
He asked. And he was cheap.
Very cheap.
And he was there.
Yeah.
Can you describe Joaquin and Reese's transformation into these characters? Because there's a long way from saying yes to what we saw on the screen.
I think the thing that happened to us that again is when you don't have the pressure of studio over you, we had this amazing, and the actors happened to be available, we had an amazing, lengthy musical pre-production where we actually cut an album before we even made the movie. And a lot of this was Jim and T-Bone's inspiration to immerse them into music and to make them feel what it's like to be a musician, because we know that they're actors and they're comfortable in that. But to become a musician, to actually be able to walk that part is a wholly different thing. So they went to the studio every day. It's like, and they went to the studio, they put down a track, They'd come back the next day, they'd listen to it, they'd go, God, I can't believe that's me. They'd come back, and they just did that every day for months.
Talk about pressure. You know, they're trying to, there's a feeling at this moment, horse race between Brokeback Mountain and Walk the Line for Oscars.
Is there?
Do we
Great.
like that? Do we like that notion?
Any race we're in is a good one, as far as I'm concerned. That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.